Perfect Pass, not long ago, introduced this piece of art, which is the GT chassis for all the ARRMAs 7 scale. Infraction, Felony, and Limitless, of course. And we released a bunch of them to the wild and waited for a bunch of comments. It was mentally hard and financially a bit expensive to actually throw away the mold completely from a new product. That product was out for about probably 3 hours, got sold out, and that's it. We took that mold that was thousands of dollars and we threw it away and we made a new one based on what you guys asked for. So today, the new V2 chassis is this little body. Also, we're gonna offer that in matte as well. I'm gonna cover that in a minute. So first, of course, as you can see, we removed this part here. We said, okay, no more of this part here. We're gonna make this part shorter as well. So now with the new V2, you can actually position your motors. We added motors position, so you can take your motors to the rear. We had a lot of guys asking for 2028s and TP4080s to sit right here. Sorry, trying to align it with the camera in the rear. So we added motors position. Of course, Perfect Pass is making custom length carbon fiber shafts for this new position, of course, so you can have your motors all the way to the rear, and then you have a ton of room here for batteries in the front. Like the previous one, you can put your stock servo plastic mount with receiver. Of course, with these holes, we recommend a little bit of double-sided tape here, but you do you. And you can also just install a normal servo mount here, of course. We made sure this is shorter as well. More space here for those specific customers that wants to, for example, I don't know, maybe install the drive shaft the other way around. We're really trying to actually adjust and offer something that will be the ultimate solution for all of you guys. We're gonna offer now the glossy version and the matte. This thing is strong, man. It's solid, guys. It's a 4mm, but it's the highest carbon fiber quality we could find in the world currently. For the glossy or the matte, the finish and whatnot, it's just, trust me, we're paying top dollar for this one. And it shows. Once you receive the product, you will see. It really is amazing quality. So obviously this one comes with glossy air dams and this one comes with matte air dams. Let me give you some reference of how everything looks, of course, and I might zoom in just so you guys have a better understanding of the ratio and how everything sits here. Of course, because of the camera angle, it looks like the car is shorter than it is. I can see it on the screen, but it's actually obviously a normal 7 scale length. It just looks like it on video. So I wanted to show you guys all the options that you guys have. Of course, normally this will be a V1, this will be a V2. Of course, everything is marked here on the chassis. With the new position, you have something cool going on. You have this position, which allows a certain room, of course, in the front. Let me make it prettier for you, of course. And you have this position also. Now, with this position, of course, that we make this part shorter and added more holes. This is a 2028, but this will represent 4080s and whatnot. You have enough room, just enough room. There's probably about, I don't want to move the camera too much, but you guys probably have about 1 inch to half an inch left here in the rear. So you can position those big motors, and then with the big motor, since it's so wide, you can actually position XLX2s, big motors, XLX2s next to them. Then you have a lot of room here in the front for batteries. Since this is flat, you can use this area to whatever you want. With the V1, the slots were a little bit narrower. Now with the newer batteries in the industry, we made these wider as well in the V2, so you guys can fit whatever batteries you want. And then once you have motors in the rear, ESCs in the rear, the heavy part, which are the batteries, of course, can sit in the front. You have a ton of room here. And if that's not enough for batteries, of course, you can take the servo, reposition it on your center brace, your top deck, and then you have even more room, so you can have huge batteries. If you're building a dual, of course, you can have 2 4S or 1 huge 8S here. This is really big. It's hard to see on camera, but there's a lot of space here once that we removed and changed this part here. So you can position whatever you want in whatever configuration you want. It doesn't really matter what drive shafts in the industry you decided to use. You just finally have the freedom to do as you wish. We made those holes slightly bigger, so all the little screws, of course, sits a little bit inside of it. Hopefully you guys can see it here and see it well. All those screws can fit inside of it, and the screws are not being scratched, so it's always easy to actually unscrew whatever component you need from the car. We had a lot of guys asking about stock infractions. Will it fit or not? How will that look? Yes, of course it will fit. This is in stock infraction, of course, and the chassis is actually designed to seal it completely. So you have the least amount of dirt actually coming in from the road. Also, when I designed this chassis, I had your grid and my grid for speed in mind. It looks like 180, 190, 200 miles an hour is a normal thing nowadays. And for it, well, you need a ton of juice. This is a 5690. I just wanted to show you, if you're using that last position, of course, that we added to the chassis. And of course, we're making those special carbon fiber drive shafts to fit this position and whatnot. You can use whatever motor you want, as well as 5690, which is 122 millimeters. The 4080s, for example, are 117. So if this fits, they will too. Of course, 2028s, of course, with ease, but 5690s, those are huge, humongous motors. They fit also. So I use this for the demonstration. If this fits, everything will. And of course, you can position your ESC. Some like to put this ESC on the side, but with this chassis, you can just do whatever you want. So you can put your ESC nicely next to the motor, position everything here, and then you have all the front, trying to give you a good ratio here, all the front clear, so you can install whatever you want, of course, for a single or for a dual.